But it's very encouraging. Yesterday when I heard the Minister of Health, when he came up, when he was talking about these same numbers that have kept on going up, he's saying that we have no way out, but we have to get back to controls. And that will mean getting again to the second phase of maybe lockdown. And this time it won't be a partial lockdown. Maybe it can even be a total complete lockdown. Because as you have rightly observed, the numbers worldwide, they have skyrocketed. They have gone to the west. We are talking about 14 million. Last time we were talking here, it was about, is it 3 million, 1 million when I was here. But today we are talking about 14 million lives, 600 lives, they are dead. By then we are talking about 500,000 people were affected only in the USA. But today, the picture, it's very gloomy, it's very scary. And even when you talk about the same death of our two honorables, people now, it's now scary. We know that this COVID, it's really there. And we need to jack up our efforts so that we win this war. And especially that we are in this winter. And if you look at the pronouncement, I was listening to the weather announcements when they say it's between 16th to 21st of July, it will be extremely cold. And you know, this is the same period you find that we have lost 2 lives of our member of parliament. It is sending a lot of shockwaves. That's why you find that we need more clarity, and we need as leaders to come out, be at provincial level, at district level, to come out and help to disseminate the information. Because this one, it does not call for anyone to have a special position in a certain political party or in government to help other people. But it is time now to demonstrate that we are responsible citizens. Because, you know, I remember very well the Greeks, they have always categorized the 3 types of citizens that we have. Those the idiots, those who just think about themselves, they don't want to be responsible or to assist their fellow. They only think about themselves. They are self-centered. And then the second category, you find that there are those who are, they call the tribes. They have boundaries. Whatever they want to do, no me, I'm PF. No me, I'm UPND. No me, I'm Jehovah Witness. No me, I'm Catholic. Those are what we are called the tribes. They want to create boundaries where they are not supposed to be boundaries. So these 2 classes of individuals we do not want. Those who are extremely selfish, all to them, as long as their health is okay, their family is okay, I don't care about what is happening elsewhere. Those are the individuals whom we don't want. And the third one, we want what we call the citizens, the responsible citizens. And the Constitution of Zambia recognizes us before anything else, before being called UPND, MMD, NAREB, PF, or anything, Catholic, Jehovah Witness, Islam, or Hindu, we are recognized as citizens. So let us be responsible citizens. And it's important that it is in such times that we can really define who we are as a people. Because this calls for a concerted effort. This calls for unison. This calls for everybody to be united behind that banner that we are one Zambia, one nation, and one family. And beyond that, once we stand like that, we will stand even for the others in the world. And Brother Mcfarlane, the position as we stand today, it's very difficult, because if you look at what is happening, it's like other countries they have experiencing now what they are calling the 3rd wave of the coronavirus. And for us, especially the northern region part of Zambia, which borders Tanzania, we have a huge challenge there, because the president there in Tanzania seems also to be our new Donald Trump there. He seems not to be he seems not to be fighting it with the same vigor. But yes, you find that it has not been recognized the way it is. And this is the region where we find that we are having bigger numbers which have been posted. And then on the southern side, you find that we don't have much problem with Botswana, because then they were even talking of closing down for 6 months. And that is beyond even what we can take as
Is it not actually one issue that you can say, these economies are far much better than Zambia, and of course this could be the reason why they're able to stand the gravity of, this coronavirus, where, if you are to check, how the economy of Botswana is actually performing, and the economy of most southern African countries beyond Zambia are actually, performing much better than, our country, except for Zimbabwe. We actually, yeah.
And then the other one,
there are so many restrictions that have been imposed, and you will understand that, in certain areas, like in the Republic of South Africa, we have more cases than Zambia. But, despite the fact that the economy is far much better than, this of Zambia. Now, what could be some of the reasons really that have, brought about this sharp rise in the cases of coronavirus in our country?
Normally, if you look at the same, I like the good example that you have brought about Botswana. They have taken it extremely serious. And when you talk about the issue of the economy and how the economy is performing, you can even look at what is happening in the United States of America, which is the biggest economy in the world, followed by the Chinese. But if you look at how the largest economy in the world has been shattered, that is the United States of America. We were even seeing somewhere in May where there were positive negatives when it comes to oil. It was just been mined, it had even lost almost, it came to negative 10 somewhere there. But you get also, there are silent nations like India, which is more like, is it number 3 now, after Brazil? We will talk about some silent nation where a lot of people are dying, like the UK. It's also another aspect which we need to look at. I think the classic example of Botswana, I like it because the way they have taken the coronavirus issue, they have taken it very religious, very serious, and they have followed all the rules, and even the people themselves in Botswana, I think they have been following down the laid down procedure, international guidelines properly, and you find that things are not being done in an ad hoc manner. So basically, if you look, we take, for instance, the situation which is happening in Zambia, we can just see equal to that one which is happening in Brazil, which is happening in the United States of America, where people want to enjoy their liberties, where people want to have their say, to take life as it is normal, taking it the new normal, thinking like, new normal, it means that just we have to accept literally that the COVID is there, or others. They are even going to extreme to say, making it political, that it's not even there. In fact, it's just been used maybe by the ruling party as a way of blocking the opposition, which is very unfortunate. But it's important as a nation we take leaf to what is happening maybe in Botswana and then also Namibia. They seem to have controlled the situation. We have big numbers like the Congo, where we have had a lot of these pandemics. They have been going on, even the Ebola, which was almost going into a pandemic from an epidemic thing. So it's important you have brought in that aspect of the economic dynamics. Because even here in Zambia, why the president has opened up the economy to the new normal type of life, it's because of the same biting economy. But basically, it's important that what is important, we continue following the international laid down standards, and that is the wearing of masks, social distancing, so that we avoid this contact-to-contact arrangement that makes this disease to progress forward. And as of today, I'm extremely happy, Brother Mcfarlane, when we see the way the religious people have behaved. They have behaved exceptionally well. We don't have prophecies. We do not have anyone who is coming out to start claiming, no, here I'm healing, here I'm doing this. I think...
So does that mean now that, we don't have a real prophets? Because nobody is actually, coming on board saying that you can bring, coronavirus patients in this particular regard, because we have seen a lot of them that have obviously, a code for healing of any kind of a disease. But why this time, this issue to do with the coronavirus?
It's important.
It's a psychological kind of arrangement.
Yes, a psychological type of arrangement, and I'm happy that the religious leaders, they have taken this one as scientific and as something which need medical attention. And if they were the one who are going to start championing this disease, especially here where we are, as in the line of faith, it would have been disastrous. But we continue asking them to continue following what they have been following, so that we move out of this predicament together. For now, it's not because we do not have men of miracles, but what we are understanding is that people have gotten to know that even these lockdowns, they were there. Even in the time of Moses, they were there. The Israel was.
There used to be lockdowns.
Lockdowns, yes.
As instructed by God.
As instructed by God. And I'm happy that this information has been made available to the general populace. As compared to the way it was when I was here in May somewhere, you find that there were others who were taking this to be G5, something which was being used as a conduit of advancing technology, and then also control of the masses. But we do not have such. This is very encouraging from the religious side. But we have a challenge on the political side, because with the pending election of 2021, others have said the new normal is continue mobilizing the parties from the grassroots, and the grassroots mobilization, it comes also with this challenge of social distancing, and then also the dynamics of covering one's mouth with these face masks, which in most cases becoming very difficult. But to all our political players out there, we need to exhibit exemplary leadership by, at the moment, at least we avoid totally even going out to mobilize our parties, be it internally or externally. We need to desist from that, because as you look, as you see, this winter, it has come with huge challenges. And I think in the United States of America, on a Friday, they posted over 70,000 people who are tested positive.
In a day?
In a day. Now,
in a space of 24 hours?
24 hours. Now, we talk about 10 days. We'll be talking about close to about 700,000. That will be, the people will be affected. And what is happening in America can start replicating now. And the danger in which we are, we may be comfortable. We may be thinking that the virus that we have, that is in our lungs now, is not mutating, because maybe our immune system in Africa has been built. We have had this challenge of flus. We have had this challenge of malaria. Our immune system have more like shown that we can stand against this virus. But this virus, somewhere there in India, they have said it has kept on changing its characters. It has started behaving in a different way. So even if we see what is happening in Brazil, they have had, now I think for the third time, 3 waves different of corona. Peru, it's disastrous. And these regions are tropical. They are more like
they will send something
the
to
same
take,
as
they will send an ambulance to take the patient,
Zambia.
or we can deliver the ambulance,
so
the patient by our ambulance, and they will swab the patient either from here or from there. But the results, they are informing the patient, and it's very confidential. Nothing like this happened. We didn't admit any positive case
talking
in
about
this
some
hospital.
of the international
We don't have
standards,
any positive case in this hospital.
prescribed by
Maybe
the
we will
World Health
suspect, and I
Organization,
think
as far as
it's not
curbing the
fair
spread
to
of the
tell someone
coronavirus.
any
We're
case
talking about
with
issues to do
fever,
with
any case
social
with sore
distance,
throat, any
which
case
I call
with
physical
respiratory respiratory symptoms, know you are COVID-19, go outside the hospital. I think these messages are disappointing the medical team and the medical staff and affecting our business. And this will end by the community to harm one of the biggest and the strongest team in this country, to tell them, no, if you are respecting the patient's symptoms and you are disappointing
without actually observing that social
or
distance.
giving
And also,
spam
we have
messages
seen
like
the
this.
head of state
Dr. Bakat, I'd like to,
when
get it
he's
clear
actually
from
on a
you.
tour of
Have you had,
duty.
all your
A lot of people
members
actually
of staff,
flank him, and of course we see no social distancing whatsoever.
Like same
How do you describe
our staff
such
same
kind of
like
a
other
situation?
private
Because it's
hospitals,
seemingly some
same
sort
like
of
the government,
you know,
and I think the Minister of
issues
the
bordering
Health
on
are
how
publishing
people
every
actually
day
take things,
how
and
many
of course are
personnel have
disregarding
been infected
the
from the
presence
medical
of
staff,
the
and like
coronavirus.
any country in the world
Comrade
now,
Mcfarlane, one
the medical
important
staff
thing
have
that
been
we have
involved
to
in that and have been
understand and
tested
to comprehend here is that the virus, it does not respect the head of state. It does not respect your health minister. It doesn't respect that you are a honorable minister. It doesn't respect that you are a poor person or a religious person. It is taking any person with it. So basically what is important is that there is need again, even as we continue executing these programs in various provinces, it is important that the president continues emphasizing the people that we are still in this COVID-19. And it's important that maybe deliberately the authorities, especially the army and the police, when the president is having such big visits, they put in place control measures that they don't allow a lot of people to meet the head of state. And this can be done under social media, broadcast, and then also some these traditional means of making to people that this is what is happening. So basically, I would want to have that first experience that we had, where you find that the health minister himself was giving almost on a daily basis these updates. Maybe they move them to weekly the way they had done it, so that, you know, our people, we have a big problem with the Zambian people. Once the head of state or the leadership stop talking about it, then they will assume everything is okay.
It's okay, and
everything was okay.
Coronavirus has vanished.
So I think we have abashed the coronavirus. As the president, you see, is going anywhere he wants. So it means there is no COVID disease. So there is need to continue that momentum that we had kept. But at the same time, it's important that the economy, the wheels of the economy must continue moving. But what is important, we need to tell the people that the same head of state they are trying to follow, tomorrow you will turn against them and you will say that I have locked down. So it is also incumbent upon us as the citizens that we should not deliberately expose ourselves. We know that when the president is coming to our locality, we can still use television sets, social media, Facebook.
But not everyone is on Facebook.
Yes, that's the another challenge.
The alternative is TV.
The alternative is TV. We stick to our television set because almost all the households in Zambia.
But why do you think people actually go to flank the head of state, and of course, whereby they create unnecessary commotion? And we've seen a lot of times, where the head of state is actually on a tour of duty, and people are just there, disregarding all the health guidelines, and we see people, rubbing shoulders, even with the president in that particular regard, and there is no social distancing. What message does that send to the people that still actually, think that there is no coronavirus?
I think on that one, the first challenge I would pose on all these provincial, the provincial offices, and then also not only the provincial offices, also the political offices, that they have a huge responsibility when it comes to that. Because in most cases you find that there will be politicians who will be mobilizing these people to come and see the head of state. So there is a need that all provincial and district officials, they are made aware that we are still in a COVID environment. And what the president meant by living a new normal is accepting that we practice this social distancing. And this talks about numbers themselves. Themselves, they are the one who are supposed to moderate the numbers. Instead of allowing everybody to, like let's say the way you went to Choma, we have provincial committees there that is in charge. We have a provincial committee which is in charge, and also the district which is in charge. So it's incumbent upon all these provincial leaders and also the district leaders and the constituency level that they implement social distancing. They allow, they inform people that we are only allowing a few because of the COVID environment. And that's what it means to live in a new norm. But if they themselves, they are the one who are helping to bus people to come and see the head of state, then they are going against the international standards. So there is that need to make sure from the district level, the constituency level, the 158 constituency levels, this constituency chairman, they participate in fighting this disease from a national point of view. And then from the district point of view, the 116 district chairmen, they helped the country to fight this disease by making sure that they reduce the numbers. They follow the health guidelines as stipulated according to the international guidelines. So basically, if you look at it from that structure level, we put responsibilities on these ruling governance people who are falling under the presidency of one Edgar Chagwalungu, because we only allow one president to rule us at any given time. So it is this leadership that is supposed to lead us out of this predicament. So this social distancing, the problem that we are having, it's emanating because someone somewhere is not following the laid down international guidelines. So you find that if the constituency chairman wants everybody to come and see the head of state, then it becomes a big health challenge. So we need to understand our role. As I said, as leaders, we do not need to be in government, but also wherever you are, it also goes to the opposition themselves. We have the same structure that is happening with the PF. It's exactly the same replica with each political party. So basically, as political leaders, let us participate in disseminating information, especially when we talk about the same physical distancing.
We've seen
observe that one.
We've seen
and if that can be done from the constituency level using our political leadership, our church leadership, and also the civil service itself, then we won't have this problem. But also the army and then also the police, they have a huge role to play when it comes to who is going to attend, because at the end of the day, they are the one who have been mandated to make sure that no one is risked, be it health-wise, and then also physical security itself.
Let's get to look at issues bordering on seemingly heated campaigns, because there are allegations that the head of state is actually campaigning alongside one minister of Lusaka province. That's Honorable Bowman Lusambo. Actually is still wooing people to actually come and converge, and of course you see no social distancing of some sort. And of course, what is your message as regards to prevention of coronavirus to our leaders?
On the president, there is that misconception that he is campaigning, but
he even accepted that there is nothing wrong, even if he's campaigning while on duty. He accepted that when he was in Western Province.
I think it was on a lighter note, but what is important is that the head of state, the way the nature of his job is to work for the people of Zambia, to make sure that the goods and services, they continue moving, the economy continue moving. And the one, as I said, who is mandated to make sure that the development goes across the nation. And of late, you have been hearing that there have been a lot of money that has been released in line with the same COVID fight, which is equivalent to about 10 billion kwacha. So basically, when it comes to the presidential duties, we should not even politicize that one, because the nation needs to continue moving. And you know, the Electoral Commission can only allow campaigns for 90 days according to the Constitution of Zambia. But as we stand today, because of this social media, you know, there is a lot of misinterpretation. People will be saying, no, the president is campaigning, but that is not campaigning, that is his work. And the nature of the presidential work, unfortunately, is to mobilize resources, it's to mobilize the people, to mobilize the nation, that it moves to, towards the attainment of all these other development goals that has been set. So when it comes also to the provincial minister, one Lusambo, it becomes very difficult to see Lusambo, because he has been he is in Lusaka here as our minister.
And he has to be on the copper belt as member of parliament.
He goes to visit northern, visit copper belt as a member of parliament there. It becomes very difficult because in both sides, I think he is one of the people that I was following very closely when it comes to the fight of COVID. And I think he should continue with that momentum of fighting COVID, because he has defined that he's a good leader when it comes to fighting COVID. So for now, I think it's important we stick our guns to fighting this common enemy, COVID, especially that we are going through a very challenging period, and that is July itself, and then August. So basically, the leadership, be at provincial level, especially of that of Bowman Lusambo, he should continue the way he has been fighting this COVID pandemic, because also the new normal, it has slightly been misunderstood for something else, for campaigns, open campaigns, and then also mobilizing of the party itself. But what is important is that he must continue looking at himself as the number one leader that has been fighting this COVID. And the people are following him. And even including myself, I'm still following him as a leader that has demonstrated so far so good that he has been fighting this pandemic. And the one, Edgar Chagwalungu, is exceptionally good, because comparatively, if you look at the statement that comes from USA, the one which came at one time from UK, and then also Brazil, you find that if the president was uttering such statements, it would have been very difficult. This COVID fight would have been watered down. But we are happy that one, Edgar Chagwalungu, has continued demonstrating that we need, whilst we need to operate in a new normal culture, accepting that we are in this COVID environment, but I still get back to what the health minister says. We may find that tomorrow, again, the schools can be tightened to find that everything that we had gained as Zambians can easily be lost. So basically, it's important that all leadership continue exhibiting the same behavior of one Edgar Chagwalungu, that is of fighting the disease and making sure that we are masking up. And then also on the part of the opposition, and I've seen also the Comrade Church, he has continued masking up. And of late, I think he has been very quiet, and it hasn't created any acrimonious position. So basically, that is the attitude that we want, and we want everybody to continue. And there is also the other one, the Nare president. I liked the way he had brought out issues of bars. He had spotted some bars which were not following the international standards. And I think one Honorable Maus Sampa moved in, and at the district level, I think it has been happening. We need such people like Maus Sampa, who has, even he has never, not even at any time, stopped that energy of fighting the COVID. Yeah. So we need such energy to continue being exhibited the way Maus Sampa has done it. So basically, it's important that we stick our guns. We understand that maybe we can give ourselves maybe 90 days in which to observe how are we going to move out of this pandemic up to August, as the weather gets windy and cold.
Now, let's get to look at how we can ameliorate a situation of the further spread of the coronavirus where, Parliament actually still sits. And in this regard, after having seen, 2 deaths arising from Parliament, and earlier on we actually had, we received information that, some National Assembly staff actually tested positive, for coronavirus, and of course we had a subsequent, information of the death of the 2 members of Parliament. Looking at the information that we received from the National Assembly by, as a secretary or clerk of the National Assembly, Mrs. Mbewe, who actually, brought in issues of that particular information, that, there are some members of Parliament who actually tested, positive for coronavirus, and some other National Assembly staff. Now, that obviously puts the whole National Assembly actually at a jeopardy of, contracting the coronavirus, and of course it can definitely get to spread to various places, families of the people that actually work for the National Assembly, and many others that they could get to be in touch with at a particular time. Now, going forward, do you see a National Assembly actually closing? In as far as the sittings are concerned, because this obviously cannot be let go just like that.
Comrade Mcfarlane, if you look at the legislature, which is the mindset of this country, or the think tank for this country, without them, you'll find that a lot of things will come to a halt. Now, this is now a huge challenge when it comes to technology now. Especially that we need to look at how are other nations managing the same National Assembly and the meetings themselves. So we need to invest further in technology, and we talked about what is very important in social distance. If you find that social distancing is still a huge challenge, I think we have only 158 members of Parliament, and from there respective homes, I think technology can be enhanced in their...
They can still be a part of the parliamentary sittings.
Parliamentary sittings. We need to look at those arrangements, because even ourselves, we have our children who are at home, but we are receiving messages and we are participating into this education sector. And then also, those who are serious, they are making sure that their children, they are receiving the required updates. So basically, even when it comes to this, I see a situation whereby I think the Speaker of the National Assembly should advance when it comes to technology. We need these members of Parliament to operate from their respective constituencies. And then they can be...
Even from, the National Assembly offices, constituency offices can be, installed with these facilities so that they can be working from there, as opposed to attending, National
Assembly there, because we are risking ourselves. So far,
do we have the capacity to undergo such a...
We have nowadays I've seen even CNN, they are using these same, the phones themselves. Technology, you do not need installation of huge technological gadgets, but the phones themselves, I've seen how CNN and BBC make people to participate from all regions. Different.
I believe most members, all the members of Parliament actually have, laptops.
They have laptops. They have laptops in that case. So the technology is just simple, and some of these things can be done through recordings. We can answer questions through recordings. So it's not only going live, but we can have also recordings. So it's how we cherish life and how we look at life as important. And then also wanting to meet the constitution itself, because these people are mandated to meet and they are supposed to debate issues so that this nation continue moving as a nation. As you saw, even how people, because of this same COVID, the youths themselves, they had come up, they were disgruntled, the musicians, they were disgruntled. It was almost going across. And then the other people which I'm happy over, it's these ones of bars. I think we need to, the way the president has stuck his guns to closing of bars, it's good. But we need also to look at the legislature. I think we have all these gadgets. We can zoom in, zoom out. Correct. This is simple technology. I've seen the World Bank has been doing that with their employees. And the World Bank has more than close to, I think, 200 employees. They are using that technology. We have these banks. These banks like Zanaco, they are using this Zoom technology. So basically, even these members of parliament, I think that's one way forward. The parliament can be in session, but each individual can operate at home, at their respective constituencies and all their homes. And technology now, it's very cheap. It's very simple to monitor. It's only that people would want to exaggerate because it is political. Now it's for the National Assembly. We want to put huge bills demands. But basically, what is important is the platforms are already there. We have Airtel, we have all these big
mobile service
providers. And the picture and the video today, it's not as expensive before, the way it used to be before Facebook came on board. Or we say, we look at how it was difficult to transmit a video, a conference in 2015 to date. Today it's extremely simple. We have gone digital. And this is the reason why this government invested a lot in digitalization of ZNBC. It invested a lot in digitalization of ZESCO, this fiber optics, everything, the structure and the infrastructure we have there. So we don't need even to be creating stories about it. I think that's one way forward for
the National Assembly.
National Assembly. We need to go into a virtual National Assembly now.
Right. Let's get to finally look at one last issue bordering on marketeers who are still living in a situation whereby they still disregard the prevalence of the coronavirus. And of course, I was just interacting with some certain marketeers just the day before yesterday, a marketeer confirming to me that there is no coronavirus. And now that people have especially these street vendors who have subsequently gone back on to the streets, doing some daily businesses. How do they protect themselves from catching and spreading further this coronavirus?
I think this one, to start with, we need to continue. I've seen some provincial officials like that one of Kamba's team who had gone into these markets first by ditching out, and they were talking of about 10,000 face masks being given to marketeers this time, and I'm happy they were not something to do with these just traditional face masks. I think that energy should continue from on all provincial level. Be it the UPND and the others, and the sad scenario which I never liked, it's whereby you find that we had some UPND members of the Copper Belt who are also giving face masks, but they were stopped by the police or saying they were campaigning. Those should be stopped. I think we need everybody to come on board so that when it comes to matters of sensitization, matters of working together, we must work as one Zambia, one nation, so that we fight this common enemy that we have, and which is COVID, as Zambians. So basically, when it comes to market and bus stations, it's important to all the councillors across the nations that they should continue spearheading this distribution of masks, and then also going with this traditional the loudspeakers, the public traditional way of talking to them, publicity, so that we keep on telling our people that this disease is serious, so that we do not have such marketeers who are saying that this COVID, it's non-existent. So basically, if our councillors are doing a good job in their wards, in their localities, then you find that these marketeers, they are easy people to convince, they are easy people to talk to, who will be able to win this battle. It's very unfortunate, especially that in the central district area of Lusaka, you find that people have removed that shield. They are no longer wearing these masks. If you find them, they are wearing masks, they are down their chin.
Or down the chin.
Down the chin, which is very...
It has become fashion now.
It is now become fashionable. And, you know, we don't need the police to come and start forcing us to start wearing these masks. But we can be mature people who can understand these things from the spiritual point of view, from the medical point of view. And at the same time, we are seeing that this terrible disease, it is wreaking havoc across the world. So basically, it's very disappointing to go today and see how these vendors today they have stopped following these international guidelines. It's very disheartening. It's not good to anyone. Let us go back to our people. We tell them that this disease, in fact, the position as we stand, it is gone to the west. It's not the way it was in February, in March, when we just heard about it. So basically, also the downplaying of the disease, it's the one which is reducing the effectiveness of fighting this disease. We want to take it to be a new normal. But it's like, you know, you want to take poison, to think that poison is your friend. But poison is poison. So COVID is not our friend. COVID is supposed to be kicked out of our environment. And we can only kick it out of our environment by being alert and remaining health-wise conscientized that this disease, it is in our midst. Because comparatively, if you go to 1917 to 1920, the latest being the Spanish flu, it ravaged the world for almost 3 years. And it went to the west. You know, there are testimonies of families which lost almost, there were a family of 10 members. You find that the following, you are only the one who is surviving. Why? Because at one time they had thought the Spanish flu was just a little flu, the way the Brazilian president is calling it. But today, we need, whether you, the marketeers on the ground there, the Uber pusher, please, this disease, you can have it and it can be in incubation for a longer period. And once it starts manifesting, it will mean wiping us out of this earth. So, the enemy that we have can easily make us extinct. The way the Red Indians were made extinct sometimes back in the 149500s. So basically, as Zambians, do we want this country of ours to be inherited by other people tomorrow? We don't. So as Zambians, let's mask up. Let us practice social distancing. For those who are saying that this virus is not real, it's unfortunate. We are praying that may the blood of Jesus touch them.
All right.
So that we may move with what we have.
Correct. Now,
the gravity of this disease is extremely heavy.
Exactly. And as we head to the cause, you know, what is your message to the politicians that think that they can, you know, use the opportunity to actually, you know, go flat out and pretend or masquerade as, distributing these face masks and many other things like the hand sanitizers, but having a pretext of campaigning? What is your message?
To those who have an hidden agenda, those who want to make political mileage out of this situation, no one will understand you. And no one can vote for a person who is an advocate of the devil himself. Because if you are campaigning in the midst of when other people are suffering, when people are dying, then you are the devil himself. Because others, this is not time for politicking. If we continue politicking, we are going to continue creating these cracks. And for those whom we are seeing that they are politicking, make sure that we report them to the relevant authorities so that they are struck out. What we want people who are genuinely helping people, and those who want to work voluntarily under the means of disaster management, under the office of the Vice President. They can go there and contribute. They can go there and work with the office of the Vice President, which you become now like you are a volunteer?
Correct.
Yes. Than going out in the name of a political party, going out in the name of UPN or PF, those we don't want. We have been warned. These are COVID politics that we don't want. And these, they have made the world to get to the West where we are. Even as the director of World Health Organization, Tudors, he has said nations, unfortunately, they have continued peddling lies or peddling the information in different lines. The other one, it was like that one of the Madagascar issue. If you look today, they said at that time, when the president announced that he has found the
cure for coronavirus,
we had as little as maybe 2 people had died. But today, you go to Madagascar, the scenario is difficult. It's very different. You find that people have kept on dying. So basically, let us follow to these important international guidelines. Let us treat this disease as scientific as possible, medical as possible, and at the same time, let's look at this pandemic historical-wise. Let's move the religion out of it. Let's remove the politics out of it. This COVID disease, it does not choose. Today, it is another friend who has died. We have lost about 120. Tomorrow, you don't know who is going to be next. That's how pandemics work. They reduce the masses. They reduce populations. They have affected before Europe. They have affected South America before. They have affected before Asia. People have been reported in millions dying. So basically, I would want to tell these politicians, those who are leaders, that the first pandemic which has been reported in human history happened in Greece, somewhere there in Libya, Egypt, and Israel, somewhere there. The pandemic, that one which happened in 430 BC, there was a Greek...
Before Jesus Christ.
Yes, 430 years before Jesus Christ. There was a Greek or an Athenian leader known as Pericles. He wanted to make mileage out of this disease. But unfortunately, what happened? People condemned him at the end of the day. They killed their own first democratically elected leader. Where democracy comes from, this thing of election. The man was killed. He ruled the Greeks of Athens for about 30 years. But his ending was very bad because he made the mistake of politicizing the first world pandemic, and he was killed. So, to everybody out there who is a politician, those who have read history, you cannot politicize a pandemic. It will consume you. Tomorrow you are going to be the next victim. Pandemics is there for everyone, regardless of anyone. Others, they are thinking, no, we are Kamwarira. You will find that the other one will be there, you yourself you will go. So basically, this is the time to stand together as a nation. This is the time to support the current leadership. Those who are councillors, those who are MPs, and the president of this country. We need to rally behind them so that they help us to be moved out of this predicament. And this predicament, it's not only in Zambia, it's worldwide. Let us follow also what is happening in Botswana. I love what happened in Botswana, and then also in the United Arab Emirates, somewhere there, where people in unison, everything immediately they just say, let's close. They closed and they followed everything. Today, they have a clean environment in which they can practice what they want.
This is The Talking Point, a program that articulates political and social issues. Tune in to Joyfm every Sunday between 10 and 12 hours. The Talking Point. The Talking Point.
This is the Talking Point radio program indeed. Welcome to it if you're just joining us, and of course I get to be a participant by calling us up on 0953 323738 and 09609699269. We are in Choma on 99.1 megahertz on the FM stereo. Livingstone 105.9 megahertz on the FM stereo, plus the surrounding areas. If you happen to be in Lusaka 92.1 megahertz on the FM stereo, plus the surrounding areas. And of course, Central Province, we are on two frequencies. That is 89.1 megahertz on the FM stereo and 93.1 megahertz on the FM stereo for Serenge and Kapirimposhi respectively. Those on the Copper Belt, yours is 94.5 megahertz on the FM stereo, including the areas within the vicinity of Kitwe. Have a good morning, and let's hear from you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mcfarlane.
Thank you very much. How are you doing today?
Very fine, my brother. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Brother Andrew,
Yes, please.
go ahead and give us your contribution, please, in a minute.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Mukondo.
Good morning, Brother Andrew.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm happy that you have touched so many areas in as far as the COVID issue in this country is concerned, and even on the death of the two members of parliament in this country. But I want to say this, in Zambia, Zambians are well known for having sympathy and showing sympathy for any calamity that befalls a neighbor. But what I'm shocked about, especially today, is that going through most of the WhatsApp groups and the Facebook groups where I belong, I've seen that some members of those groups, especially from the UPND, are showing a lot of excitement about the death of these two MPs. This is very shocking, because where deaths of members of parliament, are anywhere, I think politics must put aside. But if people start coming in and saying, yes, this is what we wanted, now they will say we want to go through, I really don't know. You can imagine. Instead of us showing sympathy for the death of these members of parliament, we are talking about not going through parliament because now we have got two members of parliament who have died. You can imagine. I mean, is that the way Mr. Mukondo should be done in this country? Honestly speaking, I don't think so. Because as you are saying, tomorrow is a member of parliament for UPN, CS, or an independent member of parliament. And tomorrow is a member of parliament for UPN.
All right, please, thank you very much. Let's allow others as well to be a part.
Thank you, my brother.
Appreciate your contribution. 095-332-3738 and 096-096-9269. You can actually call us up. We get to hear what you have to say as well. All right, 095-332-3738 and 096-096-9269. We'll be glad to hear from you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. How are you doing?
God is keeping us here in the Mumbwa. How are you here in Kavango?
All right, we are okay, and you can please go ahead and give us your contribution.
Mr. Chendela, good morning.
Good morning, Comrade Godfrey. How's Mumbai?
Yes. Simple Canyon.
Simple Canyon, okay.
Simple Canyon.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember when to pronounce it.
Your line is bad. Try to feed it up. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Your line is bad. Kindly call us back, or you use the other line. Thank you very much. 095-332-3738 and 096-096-9269. We'll be more than glad to hear from you as well. 095-332-3738 and 096-096-9269.
Hello, good morning, and good morning to guests. This is Baraki.
How are you doing today?
Fine,
Thank you so much. Well spoken, sir. You are above board anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I like it when you said, let's not politicize. But let me take you back. I don't know, you're Erasmus something?
Yes, Erasmus Mukondo.
Okay, Erasmus. When this pandemic just started, one opposition political party volunteered to go around and donate sanitizers, everything, face masks, but he was denied permission, and then he was lumped with the case of being that he would go and infect the other people. What an insult. Okay? So you are speaking about something, but the other side you are speaking the other language. Okay? So it's really that day, it was yesterday, to have lost two prominent members of society in Zambia in a day. It's unprecedented. May their souls rest in peace. Now, you see, as PF government, you people in the ruling government, you have been emphasizing the need to adhere to this pandemic disease regulations in accordance to this SI, which was signed by the Minister of Health March this year. But unfortunately, you find that those in power, you the people in power, are playing a game of do what I tell you and not what I do syndrome. You put off your pedal on and allowed everything just went loose as regards to the measures you put against coronavirus. Look, you asked for donor funding, and money was made available to you. But where's the money? And since that time, it has been business as usual, and no regard to wearing of face mask and social distancing. Okay? This is some of these peri-urban areas which are densely populated. I'm telling you, people are not adhering to the measures. Why? Because they don't have money to buy food. They're even saying we better die from what? From hunger than COVID-19. Can you imagine? I mean the other way around. Okay? They rather die from hunger, COVID-19 than hunger. Let me put it that way. And that's a position on the ground. Therefore, you as government provide something that would make sure that these people have got food in their homes, so that when you tell them to say, look, this is what it is, they will really understand what you are talking about. If you are in a class, if you go into a classroom without food, whatever the teacher will say, it will just be nothing.
All right, kindly conclude now, Brother K.
Okay. So please, and politically, you are also receiving defectors from opposition political parties. No social distancing, no wearing face mask. Erasmus, but what you do on the ground is nothing.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your contribution this beautiful morning, and you can have your say as well on 096-096-9269 and 095-332-3738. Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are talking to Almutembo from George Compound. I think for me, Erasmus, let's put politics aside, because if we start politicizing this issue, we will all look petty. What I'm advising you as a person in power is, can you please call the soldiers out of the barracks to come and control the situation in the compound? Because the situation in the compound is out of control. This thing of saying, no, PF our state, no, it's neither here nor there. Because this disease is going to wipe us out, all of us. Can you come here in those compounds? Just yesterday I saw two kitchen parties. What do you call them? Kitchen parties or chicken parties or kitchen parties? Two kitchen parties somewhere there. People didn't even put on masks. It is like we Zambians can only work if we are pushed, if you are whipped, if we are beaten. That is how we Zambians can function properly. Because Bwana, I'm even afraid. It is unprecedented. Look at how we are seeing mabiaitis. It is very scary. And we should have a luxury to start calling radio station and start saying, what, as if we are mad. Bwana, can we do something before we die? Thank you very much, Napiamo.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you doing today?
Oh, we are okay. And how are you?
All right, thank you. Brother Morgan?
Yes.
Go ahead, please, quickly.
Good morning, my brother.
Morning, Brother Morgan.
You know, we as a citizen of this country, we are aware that the COVID-19 is there and is still a danger to society. So, for us as a citizens, what we are encouraging people is about to continue wearing masks, washing hands, sanitizer, and the social distance, although some people do not obey social distance. But we are encouraging people that is your own life, and don't be risk your life, observe social distance, and do not, if you see somebody coughing, don't associate near. This is what we are talking. But the only point which we as a citizen, we are saying that even the leaders should live like example, especially you, our colleague in government. You should live as an example. And if you are the one who are leading this nation, and the leader should also lead by example. So for us to do not show like now we are still living in normal. We are still in danger. Look at now, even the MPs at the parliament are also contacted, and we are also saying to the MPs, two MPs. So the other issue that...
Okay, that's enough.
Listen, before I go, the money which is being given to fight COVID are being located to the road. Is it true or not? You are the leader.
Thank you very much. I'm pretty much sure that you would take that question.
Yes.
Good morning. How are you doing today? Tauka kanga tumoka bonju. Yes, please.
Nimekuona kwanga niona monga pankania coronavirus vantu vaitamonga daktari rak mlandu niona monga nikubafo singa maona ka ine fininga pomele kuti iya ibakamba kisibeta kipena corona than kufana njala iya sasa nitako si maski tibagala ende kuliba nanga news ati iya kapena ndipenda nogula maski iya ni boza wamenda na matumba mabagi maona ka important of the time maona sasa senda pia kibenda nogula mamasi wama kaa nayo vantu sasa ndio mabagi sasa unatoko kwa Paris kwa sababu samaki kwa kuongea market ndio bacho kwa mtu mabagi manje wasala akaongea mshoko ndio bacho mabagi hapa alikuwa mtumba wasala maona ka sasa ni kuchukua dala kuja kuta pale ni kitu tu tutapata kwa chanya maona ka naona ndio mtu chana pa gate pa kuongea market hiyo kwa masi ya naisha mbagi mkati manje kwa kitu mkati na tunaanza kufikiria kwa mamasi maona ka so manje basi bakagana politics nangahoye bajata gazari mpaja nangahoye bajatunga uza kilimanga mchechi ngati muntu ni mchechi pressure manya preaching apaja tunga sende nangahoye muza na watu wale mbao mbaza kubala ni chasa sasa na basakati chione sasa tutoe baba ni bakupia chiole tunaiti zakati ngati konka hizi maona ka ni kusema maganizo chione kuziba nchakuti unabadwa weka uzaka mwalira weka uzaka ima weka judgment ya Mulungu kulipo mpaka ida naye atiya mpaka ida na chati naona kutubashika muntu tatu na mwana na wina ngwa ati kia ngera mgoji kwa nishike pamoja wa umoyo ndani mnaona aka na wakati mwana wako ni mtoto wake ati sio sasa mtoto wako umukonda so ngena na tushike pamoja anangena akana maona ka so tuwakuti any problem ugase singaweka wosa kuta mzakwa zianga ni paweka iwe kwa musa moyo wako.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your contribution. I think let me allow in this one, and then this must be our last call, and then we obviously get to. Good morning.
Good morning, Mcfarlane.
Thank you very much. You have a minute to contribute, please.
Okay, good morning, Mukondo.
Good morning.
Yes, this is Samutanje Kanyama.
Yes, please.
Pa COVID ya marume. I think if I digital it, I will really hang and it up for my tender. We go so well, so great. You have to lead by example. There's no way to move around the distance. You never switch time.
Chimunga munyumba wana okumwa mwati mpakamu mwano oipa iwe okumwa. Nishuma putula chani. It is maybe Mr. Mukondo, that is now a formula to make money in Zambia. Maybe once you know that China Nakamukuti was a player in Miranda, always not from the COVID, Kamba kuona pandela mazamba kungena. Ndala mindset za kuti mukasile pamene munayinika pamweyo wawaja muwapase ndalama kugatandizire vantu 5 months is up to state. Mapereka kumarodi. Izamene mutandazani chani. Mumaskuru mubamene wanachita tumamaski waja. Na manje mugalipo kalipira venangu. Ndala mumpereka kumarodi. Mumuni natani. How are we going to fight this disease? Please, what I mean, corona ya mene, chifukwa tell us but you continue gathering every day.
All right. Tamvera Munsanje. Zigomo, thank you very much. I think we've closed down the phone lines. And Mr. Mukondo, I would like you to respond very quickly, to the calls that came through as we head to your final remarks just after that.
I think our people have spoken. These are contributions and observations, and which I cannot even comment or answer to say that let me answer it like this or that. But basically, if you look at Brother Andrew, he talked about the 2 MPs and what is happening, what is pertaining on the ground, especially how politics have divided us, how politics have made us to lose sympathy. And we are known as to be a people. When we lose a fellow Zambian, we are always there to help one another, to give the shoulder to the one who has a problem. But this seems to be evaporating, and it's very shocking that people, when you have lost 2 MPs, an independent and then also 1 member of parliament, people attribute that one as built-in. I've come across such commentaries, and it's very unfortunate how people, they are misinterpreting things according to fit their interpretation. To them, butane, it's evil, it's Satan. The debates that are going on between good and evil. I think in a democracy, it's important we get back to where we are coming from. And when Solomon in 795 BC, another Greek Athenian proposed about the importance of having a citizen to participate. He even classed them about 4 classes. Those who are rich, who are the property, according to property, and then those who are mere soldiers. Right. It's important that the individual participation now has even differed. Let everyone participate. So these social medias, the WhatsApp groups, the Facebook groups, if you are participating in the governance of this country, let us be serious about it. When we are debating matters of politics, there's nothing to say that this one is PF, this is what. But partisan politics should be set aside. When you are on this political platform, you are just merely expressing the ideas that can enhance our lives as Zambians. So that's what politics is all about. And that's what Solon talked about, bringing on board individuals to participate in. And then when it comes to matters of the constitution, I'll pick again another Greek Athenian, Crythenian, who brought in the issue of the constitution in 508 BC. That is almost another 508 years before our Lord Jesus Christ was born. Constitutionalism was instituted in Athenian lands. And when you talk about constitutionalism and the built-in, we must understand that before us, there are other people who have been talking about constitutional matters. And built-in is not the exception, it's not something special. It's not something which is coming to the end of the world, It does not mean, Satan has won or God has won, constitutional matters, they started way back 508 years before our Lord Jesus Christ, and the people have been changing constitutions. So it is important that we do not make matters partisan. Otherwise, if we think constitutionalism has to define either those are for Satan, these ones are for God, it's unfortunate. Let us get back to our senses. Let us have that Zambian identity of love of one another, of our neighbors. So that should be our concern. So the simple kernel didn't get through. Brother K, I think he said, let us not politicize. And he's speaking the mind of an individual who is on the ground. He talked about donor funding. It's important that accountability is done, and I think under the office of the Vice President, everything has been published, and they have continued updating the nation through the Minister of Finance. I think documentation is there. And then also he talked about HH, who wanted to go around the nation to donate. I think that issue last time we came here, we had discussed at length, and we knew that everyone had to donate through the disaster management, and that is the office of the Vice President, so that we move together. And I'm happy so far, so good. Comrade HH adhered to that, and he brought forth to our people, the health experts, those who are in hospitals. He pledged, and I think it's not only a pledge, he has continued giving people the meat that he had pledged. And I haven't heard anyone saying, no, HH has not fulfilled what he had said. So basically, we are one, and we shouldn't politicize matters. And we have people like Chiru Shatari also came forth, and then other president of these other political parties. They have been moving with the current government. So on that one, I think we shouldn't politicize much. We are moving as one Zambia, one nation. So far, so good. We know that there isn't any oppositional leader or political leader who is saying masking up, it's not supposed to be mandatory. Masking up should be an option, whatever. We don't have such in Zambia. And that, it's a positive. And the other one, Mr. Mutembo, he talked about the BDIDs which are going in, a lot of people are dying. I think he is also calling for the soldiers, that the president should do, immediately before it goes out of hand, the soldiers, they should start patrolling our premises or our compounds. This is a brilliant suggestion, and I think yesterday reading the lips of the health minister, that's where we are heading. It has happened before when we had the cholera, and it can happen even today, because at the end of the day, the president understands the gravity of this COVID and the pandemic which we have at hand, and he is a president to listen to the people. Brother Morgan, he talked about COVID, and then also the issue of social distancing, which is basically, which is affecting everyone. And this is what we have been talking about. Mwami Wakalenga, I think he spoke about, we have relaxed as Zambians, we have relaxed the way we are looking at it. I think this is a very good observation. And we need to relook. We talked about individual responsibility, and he made that good example of in the church. You shouldn't be the one who's saying, when the pastor is saying, why in a small combat that I'm within? Whatever they are talking about, why is it that you are not telling the other one? I think he talked about individual responsibility, which I talked about earlier on, that we don't need to be like an idiot. You don't need to be like a tribal man. You need to be a responsible citizen. And I think this is what Mr. Kalenga is talking about. Mr. Musanje, as an old citizen, he has lamented that the examples that we are seeing among our leadership, it's parallel to what is pertaining on the ground. We need to relook at ourselves. And I think as the situation stands today, we need really this, what is happening, the related deaths that you have been seeing today, the 120 people, and then also this predicament in which we are in, it has to tell us something special. Suppose Honorable Mwewa yesterday died from COVID. Where is the COVID now? It is in our homes. The other one, Mukonka, if he died from COVID, you know, there are these underlying sicknesses. It could be the trigger to COVID, but at the end of the day, when the healthy people are giving us, they'll come, no, this one died from BP. This one died from the other one. By the time we are coming to come and say that actually it was COVID, it will be too late, because this technology and then also the testing part of this COVID, it's been improved every day, day in, day out. So basically, let us as a society come back to our senses. Let us have that sympathy. Let us sympathize with those who have been affected. Because what is affecting them in our family today, it will affect me tomorrow. What is affecting HH today, it will affect me. What is affecting the head of state today, it will affect you tomorrow. If you are not affected, then you are infected. So this disease, the COVID, it's not choosing. Rich or poor, it's taking. Religious or non-religious, it is taking. White or black, it is taking. So my appeal as leaders in our families, it starts from family level. We are leaders as parents. If you have 10 children, make sure that those children, they mask up. We don't want to lose any of those. Because the scenarios of these pandemics, as I said, we had families in 1917 in the US again. Those who are testifying. Me, I survived out of a family of 10. We were healthy the following day. Everybody was okay. And then the following day, we found that everybody had the flu. By 16 hours, I had my mother had died. 18 hours, it was my young sister who had died. The family of 12 was gone. Only find that one individual was remaining. We can see that happening also in this predicament. Especially that viruses, they like hibernating. They can come into your chest, you can receive that, you think you are okay. And they are slowly, they will start dismantling you. Slowly, just like the way the HIV pandemic, which we have in our midst. You saw how it had direct havoc in the 90s, especially with the poverty that had gone in. For some of us who are living in police stations, we saw how our parents died, how our relatives, brothers died, among the soldiers, how they died. So even in today, this predicament we are in, if we take it rightly, you will find that tomorrow the BDIDs, as the brought-in deaths, as Mr. Mutambo said, they will increase. We will start seeing mass graves. What is happening in Brazil can easily come and start here. So this thing, let us remove that element of saying, you know, it is evil. What is happening in the PFO or these other, have you seen, it's only in the PFO. God is speaking something. Let us not religionize these things. These pandemics, the 120 people that have so far died, they are not UPND. They are Zambians. They are your brothers and your sisters. With that, the only thing which I have to ask for the Zambian people is to remain resilient and responsible citizens from family level. We are parents at family level, not parents at national level. Let's start governing at homes. You don't need somebody to come and tell you, no, you have seen somebody on a provincial level is not behaving well. Start with you. Start inculcating the values. Because this thing, once it is in your home, it will be very difficult to manage it. The expenses, the medical expenses, they will be on you. So, as responsible citizens, let's also continue praying for one another so that peace may continue prevailing in our homes, and so that we can have a positive attitude. We pray also as a nation that this hatred which we have, which is coming from the different political platforms, it may be gotten rid of in Jesus' name. With that, I say thank you.
We'd like to thank you so much, Mr. Mukondo, for making this program take course today.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mcfarlane. I'm humbled, and I shall forever at any time whenever you call upon me.
Indeed. Great. Today we have come to the end of this edition.